Hello guys, welcome back to Mr. Deep Coding channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Now I know that it's been a while and I'm really glad that we are finally back. So we will continue with the KMM social media app series, and today we will work on the profile screen. So this is part 8 of the KMM social media app. So let me show you quickly. So this is the screen and that we are going to be working on in today's episode. So we will first of all start with this profile header. Then since we already have the post list item, we will use the one that we used for our home screen. And yeah, I think that will be all for today's episode. Alright, so now I'm inside Android Studio. The first thing that I want you to do is to create a new package. Head over to this Android package here and right click to create a new package, and first name it as account, and then inside this account we need to create one more package. So this will be profile package. Alright, so here we can create our profile screen Kotlin file. Name this profile screen. You select file and hit enter. Yes, I want to add that to the Git, and let's create one more file here, and that will be for our profile view model. Alright, so before we implement this, let's quickly add a model for our profile screen, and for that I need you to open the common package, then open this dummy data package, and here I'm going to create a file named profile. Now I'm separating this from this user.kt because this contains only the necessary data to display some suggested user in our home screen. So here we're going to create a full user with all the necessary information to display when we visit a profile user. So here I'm going to name it profile. You need to select file and hit enter. So I will go quickly paste the data that I have from my demo project. So here, as you can see, we have the ID, the name, bio, profile, the followers count and following count, and also this one here is his own profile, because when we navigate to the profile screen we will show different buttons or different information depending on whether it's the current user or it's someone else that is on this profile. Alright, so after adding this you can close this profile.kt. So come inside profile view model. We'll first start with this one, and the first thing that we're going to do is to create the UI state. So for that we will have today two data classes. The first one I will name it as user info UI state. Alright, so for this user info UI state, we first of all have a is loading boolean that we initialize to false. We also have the profile. Okay, select this one that we created in common dummy data package. Now this is going to be nullable and the default value will be null. And lastly we have var error message. So this is in case something went wrong when trying to retrieve user information. It's a nullable string and the default value will be null. Alright, so then we have one more data class for the UI state. So this one will be called profile post UI state. has a val loading as well, and the default value will be false. It has a val posts. This one is going to be a list of posts. Select also post from our dummy data package, and that will be empty list to start with when loading. So here lastly we're going to have also a var error message that is a null. All right, so let's just set this loading to true, because when opening on the profile screen we want to show a progress bar to the user, so we can directly set that to true. All right, so now right above these data classes, the UIs one, we are going to have our profile view model. So here we need to extend a view model from Android X lifecycle. All right, so here we're going to declare our user info UI state and profile post UI state. So the user info UI state will be a mutable state. All right, so option enter to import. So import one more time. All right, so we're going to make this private set. All right, so we also need a profile post UI state. Mutable state of profile post UI state. All right, now we need to create a method to fetch user profile information. So for that, let's create a new method, and that I will call fetch profile. Now this fetch profile method will need the user ID, and that an integer. All right, so now inside this fetch profile method, we need to call our view model scope to launch a new coroutine. So for now, since we are using local data, we can have a delay here to simulate a network request. So let's have 1000 millisecond, that equals to 1 second. Then below this delay code, we can set our user info UI state and profile info profile post UI state. So for the user info UI state, call user info UI state and dot copy. Then is loading, we set that to false. So for the profile, okay, we will use our profile sample profiles, and this one inside our dummy data and profile.kt file. Since it returns a list of profile, we trying to find the one that has the same ID. So it.id equals to user ID that we receive from our fetch profile method. We need to set our profile post UI states now. Alright, I think we're done with the profile view model file. Now as you can see, these are just locals, the metadata that we're using to simulate a network request, and also to see how this shows inside our application. Alright, so now we are going inside ProfileScreen.kt. Alright, so as you can see from the design, we'll start first of all with the profile header and this section here, which also will contain another section that we're going to create separately. So let's first of all create a composable that will name profile header section. So we'll set first of all a modifier, and then this need an image URL, the name of the user, the bio. We'll be taking the followers count and the following count as well. We'll need a boolean if it's the current user, false by default. Another boolean whether if it's not the current user, then we need to know if this user is following the user that they are viewing the profile. Then we need 3 callbacks. The first one, I name it on button click. Right, so this on button click represent the click event that occurs on this button. I don't want to name it as on follow button click because this can be the follow button or the edit button. So I would just name it as on button click. That's how I'll name the callback. We also need click event for the following and followers text. On followers click, and on following click. Alright, so then inside this profile header composable, we first of all need to align everything vertically, and for that we'll use a column. So the modifier, fill max width, we'll set a padding to from the bottom. We need to set a background, and that is going to be our material surface color. And lastly, we can set a padding, all to be large spacing. Alright, so now inside this column, we need a circle image. Let's call this circle image composable, and that we created in common.component package. So for the modifier, we will set the size to be 90 dp. The URL will be our image URL. So for the click event, we won't do anything since we are already on the profile screen. So we need to import a DP option enter. Okay, let me rearrange this on click like so. Alright, so after the circle image, we need a little bit of space, modifier.height of small spacing. Alright, so after that we need a text composable for the username. And the style for that will be material subtitle 1. We'll set max line to be 1 and overflow, text overflow ellipsis. Now below the username we will need the bio, and the style for that will be material body 2. We need space also, and for this spacer we are going to use medium spacing. So spacer modifier.height, and here we need to pass medium spacing. Alright, so now we have on the circle image the text for the username and the text for the bio. So we now need let me go back here. So we're now going to work on this section here. So as you can see here, these 4 texts are center aligned with the height of the button. They are aligned at the baseline of this button text. So we need to achieve that. Okay, so if I go here inside Android Studio, we need a row. So the modifier will be fill max width. Vertical alignment, center vertically. And then inside this row we'll need one more row that will have this modifier. Modifier.weight, you need to set 1F. So this row will take the remaining space after the follow button. I mean, we'll take all the space remaining here after this follow button. Alright, so for the follow text, I need to create a custom composable right below our profile header section. So let's create another composable. This one we'll name it as follows text. Alright, so this follows text need integer, the count. It also need a string resource for the text followers or following. So for that we'll take a string res, and a click event. So for that we'll take a callback on click, and then inside the follows composable we need a text composable. Build annotated string, call this build annotated string. Then first of all we need to call this with style, since This first text here is bold, then is bolder than this one. This one is normal, this one is bold. So we need to set the style for the first part and then another style for the second part of this text. Alright, so the style will be span style. For the color, we use material on surface. Material.color.on surface. By the way, I'm still using material 2. So the font weight will be bold, and for the font size we'll use 14 sp. Option enter to import the sp. So to this style we need to set the count text. So for that you can call append, and the text will be the count. So we'll do the same thing for the remaining for the other part, the followers or the following text. So with style, material.colors and on surface, copy and change the opacity. So for that we can call alpha to be 1.54 f. 0.54 f. So the font weight will be normal. The font size will be 14 sp. So, and that will be let's call string resource. Alright, so after the text we need to add a modifier to set the clickable and call on click like so. So we are still having errors here. We forgot to add a unit to be the return type. Alright, so we're done with this follows text. Now we can go back inside this row. So here we need to call follows text. So for the count we'll pass followers count. For the text we need to create a new string resource. So that will be r.string. Let's first import r. Option enter to import r, then followers text. So I already created the followers text and following text string resources when I was trying to see if the project was still working normally, and I just create them. Let me show you the followers text and the following text. You can see that they were added recently. So for the on click we need to pass on followers click. So here we're going to do the same for our following click. We'll change that to following count. You need to create also a string resource for following count text, and for the on click we'll call on following click. Alright, so outside this inner row we'll need the button that will play the role of either being the follow button or the edit profile button. Okay, so for the button we're going to call our follows button that we created in previous sections. So this follows button need a text, inform or string resource, and for that you need to create one more string resource. No, you don't need to create it because I think it already exists. This one, follow text button. For the on click of our follows button, we're going to pass on button click. We need to pass a modifier to set the height. So we use 30 dp, and for the width, $100 and lastly we need to pass this is outlined boolean, and for that we need to check if it's the current user or the user is following the current user. So if it and the owner of the profile, then it will be an outline button showing a date. If it's not, and then we need to pass is following, because if they are already following this user, that will be also an outline button. So the text will change that also dynamically depending on these two booleans here. But for now, let's just set the follow text label, and we'll change that later. Alright, so I think we're done with the profile header section. So let me quickly add a preview to see what we've done so far. So for that, right below here, I'm going to paste so build and refresh to see what the design looks like. Alright, there we go. As you can see, our profile header looks not exactly as what we wanted. We need to have a little bit of space between the count and also the text, and that comes after it. So yeah, you can have just space here. Let's see what it looks like now. Alright, so it seems that we also need to have space between the two followers and the following text. Alright, so right inside here, after this first follows text, we can have a spacer, modifier.width, and medium spacing. Okay, so as you can see from the preview, now it's working normally. Alright, so we are done with the profile header section. Let me close this. Alright, so next we need to work on the profile screen composable. So for that, let's create a new composable and we'll name it as profile screen. We need to pass a modifier. So our profile screen need a UI state, and for that we'll need a user info UI state and also profile post UI state. And after these UI state, our profile screen will take a bunch of callbacks. So first one, let's add on button click. So this on button click, as this it equals to this one from the header section. So we need on followers click when the user clicks on the followers text, and also the unfollowing click. We will need on post click. So since we're going to display users post, we'll need to handle the click whenever someone clicks to view the post details. So this will take a post. We also need the on like click. So why do we need this on like click? Because since we're going to display the user's post, we need also to handle the like click event, and for that we will take inside a string, because this is going to be the post ID. We need to handle the on comment click, but this is just going to send the user to the post details, to the post details screen. We also need the ID of the post for that. So lastly, we need a callback to fetch a data. So we will call this fetch data callback to inform the profile view model to start fetching the user profile. Right, so now inside this post screen composable, we'd like to show the circular progress indicator whenever we are fetching users data. So let's add a if conditional here, since we're going to have two different composables. So the condition will be if the user info UI state is in loading state, and also the profile post UI state is loading. So in that case, we use a box. The modifier will be fill max size, and content alignment will be alignment dot center. So in here we just need a circular progress indicator. For that we'll need a lazy column. We'll set a modifier to be modifier.fill max size, fill max size as well. So we need the first item to be the profile header section. So let's pass a key. Make sure that this is unique and all the other items don't have this key. So yeah, just name it as header section like so. And for this we'll use our profile header section. So the image URL will come from our user info UI state profile URL. Or we set that to an empty string. So for the name, we'll do the same here, name. So for the unfollowing count, let's quickly add that inside unfollowing count, we'll call unfollowing count like so. Right, so that's it for the profile header section item. After that, we need just to add the user's post as remaining items. So for that, you can call these items. We'll pass in items to be our file post UI state and the posts. So the key to be used for each of them will be our post ID. We need to take the correct items. This one. So in here we just need to call our post list item. The post will be 8, and for the onPost click we'll call onPost click. For the onProfile click, we won't do anything since we are already on the user profile. For the onLike click, we're going to call onLike click, And for the on comment click, just call on comment click like so. Alright, so lastly, right below our if else statement, we need to call launch defect. Key will be unit, and inside here we need to call fetch data. Now we're using launch defect because we need to call this fetch data callback. Alright, so we need now to create the profile destination, and for that head over to the profile package. We're going to create a new file, and that is going to be named as profile. Select Kotlin file and hit enter. Composable, and this is going to be called profile. We need to add the destination annotation here, so add that destination and select this one from our compose destinations library. Alright, so our profile and destination will need the user ID, and also the navigator from compose destination library. This one here, destinations navigator. Alright, so in here we need view model, profile view model, and we'll provide that with coin. Then we can call ProfileScreen and provide the necessary parameters or the necessary argument. So for the user info UI state, we're going to call view model dot user info UI state. Do the same for the profile post UI state. So the last callback is for the fetch data. So here we need to call view model dot fetch profile, and the user ID will be this user ID here. Alright, so after the profile destination, we need a way to provide the profile view model, and for that we need to open the DI package, then open the app module.kt file, and from here we are going to provide the profile view model. Right, so one more thing we need to do is to go inside the common package, then components package, and open appr.kt. We need to provide the title for the profile destination screen, but that hasn't been generated yet, so we need to reboot our project. Alright, so the build is finished. Now we need to create a string resource to set a title for our profile destination. So this profile destination should be created now, okay? And we're going to create a new string resource. So we'll call this profile destination title. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is to navigate to the profile destination, and for that we can use our home screen. So open the home package and also home.kt file. So here we have the on profile click, and we're going to navigate to our profile screen by using navigator.navigate profile destination, and the user ID we need to provide will be 8. Alright, so I think I also have my phone already connected. So let's run and test the application. Right, so the app is launched. So let's click here and see if we can navigate to the profile. So there we go. Here we got the profile. We can scroll and see the user's the user's post. We can go back as well. Let's see someone else's profile. There we go. So we're going to stop the video here, and in next part we're going to do the edit profile screen, and we'll combine that also with the user's screen. Let me quickly show you what I mean. So we'll be building this edit profile, and also this one here, the user's screen. And I think that will be all for the Android UI. Then after that we move to the backend and try to work on that. Alright, so take care guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.